Hello Ranchfarians. I'm testing the ugliest broadhead on earth, and there's been a situation. And that pig is rolled up about 75 or 80 yards out to maybe 100. But that is pretty delicious. Always be testing. Yo, it's a fairy. Hey, I test stuff. And this broadhead is my original shredder tough head that I hogged out with a chainsaw file. You can see there's flats in between the serrations, or they're not really serrations, they're interruptions. So they're not a classic tipped steak knife kind of thing. And why would you shoot the ugliest broadhead on the planet? Well, the first time I shot it, I think I've killed 2 pigs with this thing, and it didn't have any troubles. The second is, why don't you test stuff? Instead of being anecdotal and writing saying, well, it probably shouldn't work because of this and that and the other. Well, take it out and find out. The goal of this head, the Magnus line has them, the interruptions, the Magnus single bevel buzz cut has the interruptions, and we've tested a much less aggressive version of this on Cape Buffalo. I'm testing on the Ashby bow hunting website, and it showed no effects. The arrows went zipping right through. The goal of this kind of stuff, and this is an outrageous, serrations, right? Or chiseled interruptions. The goal of this is not to get a blood trail or increase the holes. The goal of this is, as the broadhead rotates and the soft tissue winds up on it, is to create more internal damage. At least that's my theory. It has been sharpened on a work sharp. It is hair pop and stropped. And nasty. So we're gonna go find out. Because if you don't test stuff on animals, then you're just talking trash. All right, this is my full Ed arrow build. So it has been bare shaft, knock tuned. I put a secondary mark on the shaft to prevent this from wearing off from handling the arrows. That's Big Mike Tanaka tip. 4 Fletch, AA Fletch that are hand cut. Yeah, they're a little ugly in the back because I've been shooting it a little bit, but whatever, they'll fly, don't worry. I run Luminox, but I only run lighted Nox when I'm shooting short range and most of the pig stuff. It's fun to see the arrow hit them, and it's good for shot indication. When I do spot and stalk hunts and I go out west and chase elk and might shoot 30, 35 yards, I do not run lighted Nox. I don't want anything weird to happen. So I would run a stock knock if I was stalking. This is a Sirius Vulcan. This is a 246 shaft, but you can see the broadhead is larger than the shaft diameter. So we're good there for an Ed arrow. And this is the ugliest broadhead on earth. It's one of my original test arrows. Got some hellacious serrations and stuff. So this is my variants, but I started playing around with this 3 or 4 years ago because just like the Magnus stuff, these chiseled serrations, it's flat in between. So it's like a straight edge broadhead. So there's little flats and they're sharp. And then these little pockets in here, or interruptions as one of my friends Blake Davis calls them, that's designed for internal damage. So as the broadhead rotates through the tissues, those little buddies right there are going to cause some nicks and cuts in the soft tissue and get wound up in the very elastic tissue. And that's my theory behind it. And I keep playing with it, and then I would say that's straight. 735 total grains, mid 25s, probably 25% forward to center. The shaft GPI is a little higher on the Vulcan, but I'm testing something on that about inserts and sleeves. More to come on that. Single bevel 3-to-1. This one's actually under an inch wide, so it is real high MA. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm heading out to the stand. It's about 40 minutes before the feeder goes off. I'm late today. I had things to do around the house, so you do what you do. I had a beer, so I feel better now. Now, 10-minute walk. So I've been exploring the theory that if we put these little interruptions on the broadhead, it will not affect penetration, which has been validated by the Ashby Foundation in Africa. There will be a link in the description for that report where they tested 300 grain tough heads that I had modified. They are nowhere near as aggressive as this thing. I've had this broadhead for like 4 years. I've killed at least 2 with it, and I know I shot one with a 40-pound bow with a 26-inch draw in my youth, arrow setup playlist, and it did fine. So, as noted earlier, the goal here is internal damage. When you hit the skin, if it only penetrates the rib cage, the initial rib cage on the impact side, you don't kill anything. It's got to get to the internal organs. That's every broadhead on earth, okay? All of the liver, lung, heart, and all that stuff is relatively mobile and squishy. That's a technical term for it. It's kind of squishy. And the more cuts you can make in anything you hit on a lethal organ, the better. Tiny cuts or big cuts, doesn't matter. So the theory here is, as the broadhead rotates through the tissue, it's already going to be cutting on an angle because it's a single bevel. There will be more microscopic cuts in the arteries and veins and airways, and you can maximize the lethality as that broadhead with this, modification, and put the animals down faster. Will I ever be able to prove in the internal organs that this is the thing? Probably not. But hey, you got to test stuff, right? If you don't know, go find out. I happen to have a great place to find out, and tons of animals that are absolutely legal to shoot 24/7, 365 days a year here at the test lab. And there's been a particularly large one showing up at one of our blinds, and he's good test fodder. So we're going to go find out before you start commenting on the comments section. Oh, it's going to affect penetration. That's all theory. I'm going to go find out. But as noted, the interruptions didn't cause any trouble on Cape Buffalo. The arrows passed completely through the test Cape Buffalo, and they had to go pick them up out of the dirt. So apparently that wasn't a problem. Some running cows, and of course they're running towards the deer feeder I'm going to. Hey, that's Hunter's Blend coffee shirt. It even smells like coffee because he just shipped it to me. It was in with my coffee pack, so I got scent control. It's about 95 degrees. There's no scent control. Use code RF at Hunter's Blend Coffee. If you're already buying coffee, you might as well buy it from a pro hunting organization. 100% of the proceeds from using my code for 10% off will go to the Ashby Bow Hunting Foundation. I won't get a nickel of it, but it's a great cause, and we can keep testing and find stuff out. Find out what works, find out what doesn't work. I'm gonna go find out this evening. Goodbye. Well, that was crazy. He went about 100 yards. He's saw him flopping right out there. We'll turn the camera around. That shot looked low and all the good stuff. He ran out there about 50 yards and stopped, and I thought he was going to roll up, and he started hauling butt, and then I just saw him roll up out there. He's down. So, you know, I shot him there. My arrow's down there. I can see it in the dirt. Went right through him, and he is laying in that gap right there. He's laying in that gap right there by that black thing. I saw him roll up. He ran through those trees, was booking pretty good, went out there, and I saw him just go whoop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop and roll up. So let's go see what we got. All right, that shot's about, I don't know, right at 20 yards. And pretty nasty. Broadhead did fine. Don't necessarily have blood right at impact. He ran out there. He's in that gap right there down, but he ran out to about right here, stopped, stood there, ran through those trees, turned, and I saw him roll up. So we'll walk out there and find him. All right. Here's our victim of the shredder head. That was pretty good sized. Impact side. Whew. That's a little fat, short pig. I don't know what he weighs. I bet he's pushing 200. He's got better cutters than I thought. Way fatter than I thought. The exit is well, always hard to find. Damn shield is unbelievable on these things. There's the exit. It was elevated about 10 feet. And there's the entry. So I know why he ran so far. His heart's down here. That's a double lung shot. Straight up the leg, lower 1/3. And there's the entry. Can't really tell if there's any, I don't expect to see any chew marks or anything. He's bigger than I thought though. I'd be a bear wrestling him up in a scooter by myself. Chompas. All right, as you can see, pigs look big. Oh, go that way, man. He's only 180 pounds. Almost didn't shoot him because I looked at him and said, that ain't a big one. But, you know, when they come out in the daytime, good video, shredder test. Y'all saw that arrow went flying through him like he was nothing, right? That's the test. I'm not going to worry about the necropsy piece because he ran 100 yards and the hit is like right there. And it's what I consider high. That's about, right there's the hole. I normally try to shoot them here. It's literally like 2 inches high. Now I'm out of a tripod, so a little bit of an elevation deal. But the penetration test was, I mean, it went through him like he didn't even, like he wasn't even there. Like the arrow went, yeah, whatever, there's something in the way before I want to hit the earth. So I'll keep doing this, just for context. Look how wide that thing is. He's as wide as I am. They're such good test material. Phenomenal, especially for heavy penetration, because he's quite the shield. All right, well, that's the test of the shredder, which I already knew worked, but you got to keep trying, because a lot of people say, oh my God, them Chistle Serrations, we're going to slow down the penetration right there. That's what I think. I was reading on the message boards, it's going to hurt the penetration. Well, that dude doesn't like it. The Ashby reports shooting into Cape Buffalo, which was not as an aggressive chisel serration as that one. That one's a little bit, you know, crazy. But anyway, those arrows went flying through them. So from a penetration standpoint, we're not seeing any issues. Internal damage, I'm just going to make a spitball. Like I said, I'm not going to do a necropsy on this guy. He went about the distance that I would have seen with other broadheads. So what that means is you keep testing it. And then if you don't see any like dramatic results, then it may or may not help. It may or may not help. This is not a declaration. Most people shoot one animal with their arrow and broadhead, and then they get on the message boards and talk about how much success they've had. Well, I want to shoot about 10 more. That's number 3. They've all died, and I've got them all. So we got that going for us. But I can't tell you that if I shot the regular tough head with a straight edge, it would have been any faster putting it down, because I don't think that. So we'll just keep playing. Why not explore stuff when you have lots of test animals to shoot? There's no one else doing this, by the way. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Most of the people, they're testing on targets and stuff. Nope. Fatties. Later.